Okay, they're usually on the table.
Well, I mean, that's what was on the thing as well. Why just like
It's very embarrassing to me too. It's hard for me because I'm used to like,
Very well.
thank you so much. Oh my gosh, do we go through all of this? Do I go through? How do I do that?
yeah, I don't know. It's just gonna do confirmations all in one and then maybe consent all in one.
Is that I can do that? That's cool. And you would put right here a proclamation.
Yeah, well, and then I was gonna list the ones I wanted to speak on. This one.
You know, we're going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, are we going to testify like in the first one?
The proclamation.
Yes.
You will get 1 minute per proclamation, up to 3 minutes. So you would. All right. Well, I don't know. What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to. Oh, that's right. Yep.
Sometimes I just find how I want to talk about it. So I'll still do more because I want to. Okay. But like.
All right, good morning, folks. We're going to get started. I will now call the City Council meeting of Tuesday, April 7th, 2026 to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Council President. Councilmember Campbell. Here. Councilmember Woodburn.
Here.
Councilmember Von Wolfert. Council President Pro Tem Lee. Councilmember Campillo. Here. Councilmember Moreno. Councilmember Elo Rivera. And Council President La Pava.
President.
Also attending the meeting are Assistant City Attorney Leslie Fitzgerald, Independent Budget Analyst Charles Monica, Council Affairs Advisor in the Mayor's Office, Coda Zeiser, and myself, your City Clerk, Deanna Fuentes. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. Quorum is now present. We will begin this morning with the land acknowledgement and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember Von Wolfert.
Good morning. We respect to acknowledge that the Kumeyaay Nation are the original inhabitants of the unceded land now known as San Diego. Despite enduring the horrors of genocide and colonization, the Kumeyaay spirit remains unbroken. We honor the resilience of their ancestors who fought to protect their culture and land. Today, they carry their legacy forward, ensuring that their traditions continue to thrive in gratitude and strength. We stand with the Kumeyaay Nation, connected to our past and committed.
Please go over how the public can offer their testimony.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to highlight the slide on the screen that reviews the items, the instructions for public testimony, and please note that time allocations for proclamations and consent items for meeting management purposes is 1 minute per person for a maximum of 3 minutes for 3 or more items. The order can be found on the agenda summary, found online or at the table in the back of the room. If you are in person, please complete a speaker slip located at the entrance of chambers and bring it to the front of the room, placing it in the clear box. Council ambassadors are available near the entrance and no further in-person testimony will be taken once the council begins virtual testimony. Thank you, Council President.
All right. Thank you for that, City Clerk. We will now dispense with the approval of the proclamation item. Before we take up public comment, I want to note for the record that item S504 has a correction to the name of the date being proclaimed. For consideration is proclaiming March 26, 2026 as Delta Epsilon Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated Day in the city of San Diego. Councilmember Foster, please confirm that is correct. All right, thank you. With that, clerk, please introduce the items and proceed with public comment.
If I could have Jacob Edwards, Tyler Keightley, allegedly Audra, and Andrea Ebbing please come up to the front row. And Jacob Edwards, you will have 3 minutes. When you get up here, you're speaking on items 30, 31, 32, S501, and S502. Please proceed.
Hello. Thank you for letting me speak. I'd like to say that I had declined on commenting on this. It's such a lovely day with folks to celebrate things and have a good time. And thank you all. Please encourage City Council to allow the flow of information getting through to your so is the public's comments, concerns, complaints, things we need to bring to attention to City Council men and women that represent us as the people. So I'm going to decline to speak any further other than non-agenda public comment.
You're speaking on item S501.
Good morning. I just wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you for recognizing things that impact pregnancies and a miscarriage. These aren't just statistics. It helps break the stigma, invites conversation, and creates space for compassion in the community. On behalf of everyone that's experienced the heartbreak of the waiting, the hope that comes with building a family in unexpected ways, thank you. Your recognition means more than words can fully express, and it brings light to the journey that many carry quietly. So thank you once again for that.
Thank you. Allegedly, Andra, you're speaking on S501, S502, S504, and 32. Please proceed.
It's interesting the proclamations you guys bring forward and the things that we don't talk about that have to do going on in schools and what children are and are not being taught, and the fact that they are, learning more about sexualization than their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and learning how to be a productive human. So it's very sad to see what happens in the public education system because children are given pornographic books. In fact, they can't even go read them at their school boards because they're so graphic. And with all of the sexual abuse that happens in children like that, you have adults that come in and take advantage of that. And I just don't think that we talk about that, as well as the Infertility Awareness Week. I can't have kids, and I know there's reasons, there's medical reasons and medical things that are taking place that are causing infertility. Like all of the vaccines that you guys think are so great. Like a lot of the toxic chemicals that are in food or the water or the air that nobody wants to really acknowledge. You guys actually toxify the water. You don't make it something that is something that is secret societies because they do a lot of nefarious things in these sororities or frat houses. I mean, I saw a video of these guys, they were sitting there bloody, the police had come, and they were all sitting there silent because they thought it was part of the test to stay loyal to that entity. And so nobody wanted to talk about why they were all bloody standing up against a wall and things like that. And it's like this leads to a lot of the nefarious things that we see that are going on in the world. And I just think it's sad that people don't want to acknowledge that. We look at some things and not all things. And the more that we recognize this place that we're in and how inverted it is, it's because it is void of God. And it's a reflection of that. And it's sad because we shouldn't be turning away from our Creator and allowing the ruler of this world, which is our adversary, to run rampant. And the things that happens to kids, it's very sad, or just the people in our communities, and some of it's recognized and some of it isn't. It just depends on if you check a certain box. So I just would hope that you guys would course correct at some point.
Andrea Evans, S501, 32, 31. You'll have 3 minutes. Please proceed.
Thank you. My name is Andrea Evans. What I speak on is S501, natural infertility. For the families that are struggling to conceive and have children, because having children is one of the most special, rewarding blessings in this entire world. And I'm so blessed to have had 3 beautiful daughters, Bianca, Vera, and Camille, who now reside in 2 separate states with their felony charged fathers, who are both perpetrators of domestic violence with me as their named victim, which charges were removed from the ARJIS system after the case was buried by STPD and STDA because my ex is a $6 million county contracted rehab worker who is a partner of a dope dealing enterprise in San Diego. That's a fact, according to DEA convictions. But I love my daughter so dearly, even though we are also deeply traumatized by the abandonment of the city and county and what took place. I also hope that even though I don't plan on having more children, that my organs are still intact after I was brutally beaten by the San Diego Police Department's Anthony Warner in public on March 21st in front of 40 children, who I was encouraging to use their First Amendment rights, do the right thing. I think in some of the video clips I look like I'm talking crazy, but I was telling them, you don't want to wind up in a position where you're in jail or you're in trouble, because I live in a low-income community in Linda Vista, and I think these kids are awesome and I want them to succeed. But I was brutally beaten, and every time I told the officer where I was hurting most, he would hurt me there most. There is arrived. The EMT had a needle in his hand. Even though I was handcuffed, had a bag on my head, several broken bones in my face, and I was in a burrito, they still wanted to do chemical restraint on me. We're missing a period of time, and I was telling the officer, what if I'm pregnant? And at that point, he just started hurting me more in that area, thinking his that I have some internal damage. So I just hope that I don't plan on having more children. I just hope that I wasn't altered in any way. In terms of the April 10th, Francisco Castro, that's wonderful. And I just saw that was my birthday, and I thank God that I will see it here on Friday. I'll be 46 years old, and I lived through ruptured aneurysm, second, fourth, and they tried to failure to repair me and put a $100,000 warrant when I was getting brain surgery at Scripps La Jolla. So thank you.
That concludes public comment here in council chambers. I started the 5-minute timer going to 7499. If you can please currently online for vote. 7499. Please let me know which item or items you wish to speak to.
Items 30, 31, 32, that's 501, that's 502, and that's 504.
Thank you. I have 3 minutes. Please proceed.
Mark Kuzinski here. I'd like to amplify some of what some of the other speakers have said about the hypocrisy of this council regarding the La Jolla Shores proclamation and all of these proclamations. As just one example of your hypocrisy, I'm going to read a letter from the La Jolla Shores Association to Joe LaCava, dated November 13, 2025, just a few months ago. Quote, to whom it may concern, the La Jolla Shores Association respectfully submits this letter in support of establishing the Torrey Pines City Park Advisory Board and its role in overseeing operations at the Torrey Pines Glider Port. Our association believes this matter is vital to the safety of park users, visitors, and the surrounding community. We encourage the City of San Diego to carefully evaluate whether solo glider pilots should be required to pay annual membership fees and or maintain insurance coverage to fly at the glider port. These measures would help ensure accountable resource while preserving safe and equitable access to a valued city park. Thank you for your attention to this issue and your continued stewardship of Torrey Pines City Park. Sincerely, John Association. George Kala has completely ignored this letter and many other letters throughout his term, and yet he has the audacity to proclaim it to be the La Jolla Shores Association's 60th anniversary day while totally ignoring the wishes of that body and of all the people they represent. It is disgusting how this council has used these proclamations to pretend that they're on the side of the people, on the side of these good organizations, while you just thumb your nose at what they bring to this city and recommend that this council do. With great disgust, I'm done. Thank you.
Travis Busher. Please let me know which item or items you wish to speak to. Travis?
I'm just speaking for open time on, I want to speak to flock cameras.
Okay, that'll be during non-agenda during the end of the morning session. Patricia De Arman, are you speaking on the proclamations?
I'm speaking on non-agenda public comment.
Okay, that will be at the end of the meeting. Thank you, that does conclude public comment on the proclamations.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. I'll turn it over to my colleagues for comments and entertain a motion. And we'll start out with Councilmember Torres.
Thank you. I have comments on items 31 and 32 today. Item 32 recognizes Ms. Alice de la Torre, a lifelong educator and leader whose work has shaped generations of students, families, and communities across Southern California. Ms. de la Torre was born in Los Angeles, California, where she attended local parochial schools before graduating of arts in elementary education from California State University, Los Angeles, and a Master's of Arts in School Management from the University of Laverne. Ms. de la Torre began her career in the 1960s as a fourth grade teacher in the Mountain View School District in El Monte, laying the foundation for a lifelong commitment to public education. If we could roll the images, please. Over time, she took on greater responsibility and later as a principal, always focused on supporting students and strengthening school communities. Her dedication and leadership to her appointments as Assistant Superintendent of Personnel, where she became known for her tireless work ethic and unwavering commitment to both educators and students. In 1997, Superintendent of Personnel Services for the San Ysidro School District. In this role, she helped strengthen educational systems, serving committed to expanding opportunities for young people and families. She promoted literacy through book giveaways, partnerships with Classics for Kids to introduce students to classical music, and also played a key role in the effort to bring a new public library to San Ysidro after more than 2 decades of advocacy. Even in retirement, she's remained active in numerous organizations, including the City Senior Affairs Advisory Board, Friends of the San Ysidro Library, the Border Transportation Council, and the South District 8 in ways that will be felt for years to come. Ms. de la Torre, I hope to one day have half the heart that you have. You are such an amazing giver, and you're such an amazing example of what community members, what we should strive to be. So it's an honor to recognize Ms. de la Torre today and proclaim April 7, 2026 as Ms. Alice de la Torre Day in the city of San Diego. Thank you for all your work. Recognizes Mr. Francisco Castrita. He's also here as well, if you want to raise your hand. People in San Diego. In 1996 and 1972, where he was raised in San Ysidro. Work. Mr. Castrita Mar Vista High School in 1985, later earning a bachelor's degree in business administration from the University of Phoenix. In 19 years of dedicated skills, the memorial area, and Mount Hope Cemetery, leaving a lasting impact. Over the years, he's held several roles, including Recreation Aide, Recreation Leader 1, Recreation Center Director, and Area Manager. If I may have just 2 more minutes. Steadily growing as a leader and as a mentor. No matter the position, Mr. Castrita brought consistency, professionalism, and a strong commitment to improving the lives of residents through accessibility and meaningful community programming. Mr. Castrita's work helped strengthen neighborhoods by creating space where families could gather, youth could grow, and communities can stay connected. While his professional accomplishments are significant, what truly defines Mr. Castrita's career is the way that he approaches people, with respect, with care, and a genuine commitment to the community. Now, beyond his career, Mr. Castrita is a devoted father to Athena, Lisette, and Julian, and takes great pride in his family. Now, after 42 years of service, Mr. Castrita leaves behind a legacy built on dedication, leadership, and a lifelong commitment to the communities he serves. It's an honor to recognize him today and to proclaim April 10th, 2026 as Mr. Francisco Castrita Day in the city of San Diego. Thank you so much for your service to the city and to the residents of San Diego. Motion to move the proclamations forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you, council member. So we do have a motion by Councilmember Moreno to move the proclamations, and we'll go next to Councilmember Elo Rivera.
Thank you, Council President. Let me begin by seconding the motion. I'll thank my colleagues for bringing forward the proclamations that are in front of us today, with a special appreciation to you and Councilmember Campbell for bringing forth item 501. And I wanted to say thank you for that. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, sir. So we have a motion by Councilmember Moreno Rivera to move the proclamation. We'll go next to Councilmember Foster.
Yes, thank you, Council President, and just congratulations to all of the proclamation acknowledgements. I'd like to speak briefly on item 31, S501 and S504. Just to start with item 31, Francisco Castrita Day. I'd just like to acknowledge Francisco's decades of service to Southeastern San Diego. 42 years of service to the city of San Diego. I don't think we see that too much anymore. And just on behalf of the 4th Council District, I would like to just say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all the other city employees that you helped, that you brought along. And thank you to your family. You know, the work that we do is not always easy as you show up and serve every day. But thank you to the family for sharing me for 42 years. Thank you so much. And thank you to Councilmember Moreno for bringing this well-deserved recognition forward. Item S501, National Infertility Awareness Week. I want to thank Council President Joe LaCava and Councilmember Jennifer Campbell for bringing forward this important recognition. National Infertility Awareness Week highlights an issue that affects more families than many realize. We recognize the strength and resilience of those navigating infertility, often quietly and with great courage. Too many still face barriers to care, including cost and limited access to treatment. This week is about raising awareness, reducing stigma, and making sure people feel seen and supported. Lastly, item S504, Delta Epsilon chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated Day. I'm proud to be here not just as a council member, but as a lifetime member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, an organization that helped shape the man I am today. My time, I was initiated spring of 1994 at the Beta Chi chapter of Hampton University, and I must say, being a member of this organization has helped to ground me in discipline, accountability, service, and these are the values that I carry every day. When I look at Delta Epsilon chapter here in San Diego, I see that same commitment. Today we recognize the Delta Epsilon chapter's legacy of leadership and impact in the city of San Diego, celebrating 75 years of service in the city of San Diego. This chapter has produced leaders across education, law, public service, and more, including former council member George L. Stevens, a 1953 initiate who represented District 4, a legacy I'm proud to carry forward today. They've done work, mentored young men, and created real opportunities for those coming behind them. The city and and the lives that have been shaped and the doors that have been opened. So today, again, I want to say congratulations on 75 years, and here's to continuing to build, lead, and set the standard for the next generation. And I close with a yo to the news.
Thank you, Councilmember Foster. We'll go next to Councilmember Campbell.
Thank you, Council President. Just as a family physician, I really should say a few words about National Infertility Awareness Week. I'm so delighted that families that are facing these problems are able to be helped by medical science. And let us hope that we continue to advance so that it isn't quite so difficult as it is. You have to be extremely brave to go through this. So thank you to those families that do, and to those who to the medical community, and of which I am so proud to be a part. Let us continue into the future with advancements. Thank you so much, Council President. Congratulations to everyone.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Campbell. Seeing no one else in the lights, I'll wrap it up. Thank you to my colleagues for the proclamations that were brought forward. Congratulations to the individuals, organizations, and causes that are being recognized. I will speak to two of the items. Item 30, today's La Jolla Shores 60th Anniversary Day proclamation recognizes the generation of community members who have volunteered their time and effort. Since 1966, the La Jolla Shores Association has served as a community forum for the Shores, liaison to the larger La Jolla community, and advisory body to the city. Thank you to all the directors and community members, past and present, who continue to volunteer their time working to protect and enhance La Jolla Shores for residents, businesses, and visitors, and to ensure that the La Jolla Shores Association is a consistent and unified voice for the community. Thank you for your work. Item S501. Today I am honored to join Councilmember Campbell in proclaiming the week of April 19th through the 25th as National Infertility Awareness Week in the city of San Diego, and shed light on an invisible struggle that affects millions of individuals and their families. Acknowledging their experience is an important step towards building a more supportive and aware community for all. Another important step is making sure individuals have access to the proper resources and support systems. Advocacy removes the stigma around infertility and allows those affected to receive the care they need. Thank you to all the healthcare providers, infertility specialists, and organizations like Resolve, who play a vital role in helping individuals impacted by infertility feel acknowledged, supported, and empowered. And with that, we have a motion by Councilmember Moreno and a second by Councilmember Milo Rivera. Clerk, please call the roll.
Please cast your vote. The voice is now ready. And that passes unanimously, 8-0, with Council President Pro Tem Lee absent. Thank you.
We will now pause for photos, and we will start with item 30, which is La Jolla Shores Association 60th Anniversary Day. And always keep your eye on Heidi, who will identify you. Okay, back to council business. We will now proceed with the approval of the consent items. But first, I will turn to Mr. Code Advisor from the Mayor's Office for a statement.
Thank you, Council President. I do have statements on 2 items. Quickly, on item 113, there has been a correction made to the staff report and resolution for the youth committee. Council District 4 Webster to Council District 1 Okoye. And then on item 100, on February 23rd, the council approved the 3rd addendum to the 3rd amended and restated management agreement between the city and the convention. Earlier version of the 3rd addendum that did not include all of the language that the city and the convention center had agreed to, and which the convention center corporation board approved, was uploaded with the materials for that item. The final agreed upon version of the 3rd addendum was included when this item went to ATI on January 29th and was described in the staff report when it was presented to council in February. This item today. So again, this is the version that was approved by the convention center, by ATI committee, but was incorrectly uploaded when it came to council last time.
All right, thank you, sir, for those corrections and clarifying statements. So first, are there any requests to pull an item by council? Not seeing any requests. So with that, clerk, please proceed with public comment.
Thank you, Council President. Please note each speaker will have 1 minute per item per person. If you would like to speak on 3 or more items, you will have a maximum time of 3 minutes. Please make sure you submitted your speaker slip if you have not already, or are raising your hand, *9, or the raise your hand icon. Also, let me know for the record the potential appointments and reappointments that are on the agenda this morning. There are quite a few, so please bear with me. Item 110 is the potential appointment of Miriam Mendoza and reappointments of Lucas Coleman, Benjamin Eastman, Juan Carlos Rivas Garcia, Heidi Nutt, Dr. Shazarad Kamyab, and Dr. Luke Lenine to the International Affairs Board. Item 111 is the potential reappointment of Mr. Tufik Tabshori to the Audit Committee. Item 112 is the potential appointment of John Embry and Merle Richmond, and reappointments of Chase Michael Franzen, Ron Lee, and Peter Doff to the Airports Advisory Committee. Item 113 is the potential appointment of Parsa Arya Awaz Brandish and Jackson Turner to the City of San Diego Youth Commission. Item 114 is the potential reappointments of Matt Stamper and Ted Womack to the Privacy Advisory Board. Item 115 is the potential reappointment of Ian Clement and Erica Morgan to the Resilience appointment of Jerry Bloom, Daniel Lehman, and Dr. Judith Munoz to the Parks and Recreation Board. Item 117 is the potential reappointments of Christy Byers, Rami Cortez, Dr. Michael Province, Maria, and Melanie Woods to the Historical Resources Board. Item 118 is the potential reappointments of Patricia Williams-Bevelin, Sarah Moga Almany, Mark Tran, and Dr. Scott Walter to the Board of Library Commissioners. Item 119 is the potential reappointments of Marilyn Carrillo, Wendy Urishima Khan, Gail Freet, and Carla Nesbitt Stokes to the Commission on the Status of Women. Item 120 is the potential appointment of Lydia Ball Van Note to the San Diego County Regional Airport Authority. We did receive comments on items 54, 19 in favor, and items 114, 1 in favor via our e-comment form, which have been distributed to the council. Now going to those who are participating in public speaking here in chambers, if I could have the following individuals please come forward to the front row in the yellow reserved seats and the other seats. Bethany Case, Luis Guerrera, Patricia Mondragon, Crisoforo Gomez, Omaira Yusefi, and Ramo Abdi. If you can all please come forward to the front row. Bethany Case, if you can please come to the microphone. You're speaking on item 107.
Good morning. My name is Bethany Case. I'm the Senior Community Relations Facilitator at Southwest Middle School. I facilitate our state community schools grant, which aims to transform our school into a community hub. I'm here to support the Grove Neighborhood Park. There are several large apartment complexes within walking distance of the park, and because many of our students live in these complexes, they are deprived of space to play with cookies and gather with friends. They don't have a mall nearby to hang out, and they end up finding places that are unsafe, where they are unwelcome. The area surrounding the park doesn't have open space for the community to gather, and because of the pollution at the beach, that large free area of recreation is not safely available. Additionally, we have an incredible before and after school program called HYPE, who will be able to use this space to expand programming. Expanded programming helps keep students whose home school is Southwest Middle School from going elsewhere, and it brings students from outside of our zoning onto our campus. With shrinking enrollment, this is a huge benefit.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Luis Guerra.
When we're seeing extraordinary uses of power at the federal level.
Patricia Malone. Patricia, you have time, people ceding you time. Erin Sumaru Grassi. Thank you. And Jesse Schmidt. Thank you. You'll have 3 minutes. Please proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, council members. Patricia Malone, Regional Policy Manager for Alliance San Diego. I'm here to express our strong support from Alliance San Diego for the Due Process and Safety Ordinance. This ordinance is about upholding the most basic promise our city can make to that everyone deserves to be treated with fairness, dignity, and respect, no matter who they are or where they came from. It reinforces our shared values of justice and equality by ensuring that city departments and contractors respect people's rights and due process. Right now, that due process, our safety, and our rights are under threat. San Diego has seen a 3-fold increase in immigration arrests that have led to family separation, and a significant increase in the detention of children. Residents are afraid to leave their homes. Even immigrants who have lived here for decades or with legal status are fearful that they could be targeted or separated from their loved ones. This fear erodes public trust and makes our city less safe. The Due Process and Safety Ordinance helps rebuild public trust by setting clear limits on how city resources are used and by requiring transparency when federal aid is doing its part to uphold the due process and public safety of our residents. It improves reporting on joint task forces, clarifies the San Diego Police Department's role when immigration enforcement occurs, and requires federal agents to have judicial warrants before entering non-public spaces. These are practical, lawful steps that protect everyone's rights while strengthening community safety. Equally important, the ordinance protects the privacy and freedom of all San Diegans and prohibits the sharing of data based on protected activity or characteristics and safeguards reproductive rights, free speech, and personal autonomy. These protections are essential to a healthy democracy and to a safe city. Passing the due process and safety ordinance is about leading with courage. It's about ensuring our city operates with integrity, transparency, and compassion. It tells every resident their rights. They are advocates and community, and reaffirming San Diego's commitment to justice, accountability, and equal protection for all. Also to pass the due process and safety ordinance today. Thank you.
Thank you. Could you tell us a moment? You have time stated to you by Marco Briones. Thank you. You'll have 2 minutes.
Good morning, council members. My name is Chris Gomez, and I'm an organizer with the San Diego and Imperial Counties Labor Council. We represent over 130 unions and 200,000 working families across the county. We're also here as proud members of the San Diego Immigrants' Rights Consortium. So first I want to thank Councilmember Hilo Rivera and his team for their work on the due process and safety ordinance, and to the rest of the council for moving it to this point. We are in a moment where it's truly incumbent on local governments to do everything in their power to protect their constituents, our workers, and their families from the terror and violence of this federal administration. And so we thank the council for joining in on a regional effort to do just that. So we urge your support today to vote yes.
Well, Tazeen Nizar, come up to the microphone. Then we have Amara Yusefi, Rama.
Good morning, council members. My name is Tazeen Nizar, and I'm here on behalf of the San Diego Immigrants' Rights Consortium. When due process is abandoned, communities are left to live under fear rather than the law. Families become afraid to report crime. Workers avoid public spaces. People live with constant threat that their rights can be taken away any minute just based on the way they look. This kind of environment does not make anyone safer. It and erodes trust in every level of government. Local governments cannot turn a blind eye when federal agencies engage in unconstitutional conduct. I have been a 25-year U.S. citizen, and today I carry my passport card with me everywhere because I am afraid of being taken. This is why institutions need to ensure that due process is exercised at every level of government, and you, my friends, are responsible for making sure that San Diego City practices it on a daily basis. Thank you.
Omira Yusefi, you have time stated. Tricia, you can thank you. You'll have 2 minutes, please proceed.
Thank you. My name is Myra Yusefi with PANA. I'm here today to express our deep gratitude to you all, and especially Councilmember Hilo Rivera for bringing this due process and safety ordinance forward. When the community needs someone to stand with us, Councilmember, you're always there, and we appreciate that. Even when it's not the most popular opinion, you're always there, and you work with community. So I really want to thank you and all of you for initially getting it passed, and now we're finally here at the other end to the finish line. So thank you all for that. As the Trump administration continues his attack on immigrant communities and all vulnerable communities, now is the time more than ever that we need an ordinance like this in place. Honestly, I wish we had it a year ago because it would have provided valuable information to us today, right? Our local and our police department needs transparency as to what is happening and which partnerships exist with the federal administration as they continue to attack our communities. So we're really excited that this ordinance is coming into fruition now. It will provide us valuable information, but I hope we also see it as a first step, right? that this is the first step that council can take to support immigrant communities, LGBTQ communities, other vulnerable communities, Muslim communities like mine who are also under attack with this administration. We have asked time and time again for the city to end its contract with Flock because our data is not safe with a company that continues to collude with the Trump administration, that continues that collaboration on the back end. We have seen that no matter what we try to do at a local level to keep our data safe, we cannot keep it safe with Flock. So we ask for you all to continue to see this as the first step, but to really take other steps to ensure that our communities are protected. Thank you.
Ramon Abdi.
Hi, good morning. My name is Rahma Abdi, Director of Organizing Muspana. I'm here again to express my organizational support for due process. And thank you, Council Member Sean Elon, for supporting this and always standing with our community. This ordinance is about protecting people who are already caring so much. It is time with those who often feel targeted or afraid. People seeking reproductive health care. Our immigrant communities, people living with disabilities, religious minorities, and others who just want to live in peace and dignity. For San Diegans, this is more than just a policy. It is the first step towards feeling safe again. It helps set clear boundaries to our community, know what to expect, especially when it comes to how the police department responds to immigration enforcement. It brings some light and transparency to situations that have caused fear and confusion for too long. At the end of the day, this is about people. It's about making sure everyone, no matter what,
Hi, my name is Anita Wisner-Turner. I didn't know I was going to speak. I thought I was just going to make a proclamation. Everybody votes on it, but I have a few things to say. I'll keep it short. At a time when our constitutional violations, democratic law violations, it is so refreshing to think that the city council is bringing this up and trying to do the right thing. And special thank you to you for leading this. And I hope that you and the sign the due process and safety ordinance, which protects and implements everyone's civil rights and ensures that our city is no longer complicit in unlawful or discriminatory enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrea Evans?
We're going to swap. I'm going to go first.
You're going to take your time?
No, I'm going to go first.
Oh. You're speaking on several items, 101, 102, 104, 107, 111, 116, 118, and 119. You'll have your...
I'd like to add a D4 to that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the hypocrisy is quite interesting because we talk about due process and we claim that it's for all, which this is only being brought forward due to undocumented immigrants. And as a victim of somebody who has no due process and also has very close friends who have also, I've been beat up by the sheriff. Andrea Ebbing was just assaulted brutally by the San Diego Police Department. And nobody is up in arms about it. It is very disturbing to see that it's like if you are a certain demographic or if you check this box then it matters. But we don't even have due process here. That's what's so crazy, and people are complaining about it. It's like, welcome to America. That's the way it works here. And so until you guys are going to make it equitable and inclusive to the people in your own community, Raul Campillo, a woman was brutally assaulted at the Linda Vista Skate Park. There are no cameras there. There are no lighting. There have been 4 murders there, 2 within 2 days. And it's like, how can women be assaulted like this that are in your own community and you guys turn a blind eye. Woman, if she was undocumented and that happened in Linda Vista Skate Park, you guys would be pissed. So it is so appalling and just offensive to have that kind of stuff happen to you. And nothing gets done about it, but it gets brushed under the rug. In fact, the San Diego Police Department said, I am a threat to them because I was assaulted by a sheriff. I still walk with the cane 4 years later. There's no due process. And when you guys sit here and you act like you care about people, then prove it. Prove it. The people in your own community should matter. No woman, no body should be assaulted like that. Brutally. And it's all for speaking out. I was speaking at a board of supervisors meeting and got drug out. Had my head slammed into the ground. My back was messed. I have dislocated ribs. I have nerve damage in my arms from him twisting my arms so bad. And you know what he tells me every time I have to see him at the board of supervisors? You're welcome. You're welcome for assaulting you. And nothing happened to him. He got exonerated. I was told that I should have just complied because he had a badge. He wears a fucking costume. And I had been arrested there before for speaking publicly, using my...
Started about 5 years ago, in which I was the victim and my children were. I was strangled on video, had my head split open, blood everywhere. My ex admitted to who they now work directly with Care Court for opioid distribution, rehab, kickbacks, and to protect that enterprise, which issuing injectable fentanyl and morphine, Dr. Prakash Bhatt commit USC Attorney Nancy Sussman, the partner of my ex, Augusto Salerno, pill mill operator, 78,000 strips of dead people and prisoners' names, homeless people and rehab patients, pick them up in non-emergency transport vehicles, which the county awarded a $1.5 million contract to under the name of Youth Services. Names are in enterprise, RICO enterprise due process is important because when felony charges go missing from the ARGIS system and they choose to create a false statement, which they said I violated, and that the jury should not know this information, and then abandon my abducted, I'm supposed to take 4 times a day, and my antibiotics, but they give me the stool softener just to make fun of me. They saw my blood pressure was 210/110, denied me medical care, but also, when I say this was fake, I don't mean, I'm not. Why did they take my bill away? I told them it's $100,000. We came up with my we're just like in out of my bill away.
Your time has concluded. Your time has concluded.
Escape with the court.
Retread. I can have the following individuals please come to the front row. Setting for Meadows Butter, Gordon Beekman, and Nicole Lynn.
We try in the second row. Recently, we have to organize canvassing to support small businesses, giving them information how to protect immigrants. When you come away trying to hide, because as people, we learn to put our characters alive. I don't want to make people to live like this in a country where they come to seek for life opportunity. So this is the best thing we can do for now to protect our region, our people, originally celebrating diversity, and it's a proper thing to do. Protect our people. So we pass this on now. Thank you.
Thank you. Setting for Meadows Butter.
That is 54. Our center serves thousands of LGBT San Diego in fear right now. Fear, especially our transgender and immigrant community members, deserve to access health care, go to work, and live freely without fear. Please vote yes on our communities. Thank you.
Thank you. My apologies for misstating your name. Blair Beekman. My apologies.
Yeah, thanks. I have a whole bunch of items. I put them all on one card for easy.
Please proceed.
Thank you. To speak first, the item 50, photocopying. I have about 6 items altogether here. Photocopying is, you've had this up here before, so it has to be brought back here. For some reason, good luck in addressing it if it needs to be questioned. Smart water meters. You're doing a whole series of practices that's not just creating a new smart future for San Diego, but it's how to involve the community in the process. And you're really making those efforts. And I hope we can continue those good efforts so community can call into public utilities, have their questions answered. Council's been working really well on that. It's a community effort to build our tech future, everyone. It's not just you guys thinking you're high on the hog, okay? We're clear on that? This is a community effort of technology. It's not just you guys. With that said, thank you. On to item parks. I have 3 items that you talk about park issues, 56, 116, and 107. When the park commissions get hired, I hope they're considering the importance of accountability and data collection practices. When the technology is working in their park systems, they took a break to kind of reassess how to move forward, and that was an awesome idea. I think we're more reflective and responsible how we place tech in our park systems. Learn to really talk about it clearly with the public. And it's okay, it's safe. You feel it's unsafe for some reason. It is safe. Don't fear the public in those conversations. And with that, that leads to item 54, Brown Act issues that, thank you, it's a beautiful measure. I think it works on the early park department's ideas of how accountability people, tech accountability people want to work towards LPR things. I think this is a good start to that kind of question to be better asked. So it's a great measure, thank you. PAB people are being rehired, reappointed. Good luck to their continuing efforts that we talk more clearly about our tech and that international affairs. Good luck that we really talk, they're more inclusive of an international level and how to talk about our issues. Thank you.
Nicole Lilly, you have ceded to you Vice Barkemutra. Thank you. You'll have 2 minutes. Please proceed.
Hello, my name is Nicole Lilly. I'm a 23-year-old renter, resident of District 3, and Executive Director of Our Time to Act, a youth-led nonprofit organizing powerful youth for a more inclusive, equitable, and sustainable future. It is absolutely essential that you pass item 54. Our community is under attack, and this ordinance affirms the city's responsibility to its residents. This council is not powerless in the face of extreme threats we face. I want to express gratitude to Councilmember Elo Rivera and his office for their leadership on this action and in getting this to be a cross-county effort. First step, this council must go further to cancel our contract with Flock. We must stop investing more in surveillance and more into the basic needs of our communities. Every single day, they are waking up and wondering where their next meal is going to come from, wondering whether or not they're going to be able to make. The least we can do is protect their due process and their safety across our city. I sincerely urge you to pass this ordinance and continue to seeing that your hands are not tied. You have a responsibility to us as your constituents. You have a responsibility to community with the power that you were given as elected officials. And I sincerely hope that you consider that going into the budget season and where you allocate your money, especially in consideration to surveillance and policing of our communities. This is only a first step, and I urge you to pass this item. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. start of the 5-minute timer here in council chambers. For those participating remotely, currently have 4 people in the queue, starting with Tina Sanchez. If you can please let me know which item or items you wish to speak to. After that is 8700 and then Catherine Rose. Tina, I can't unmute for you. A pop-up should have come up. If you can't unmute, I will need to move on to the next caller. I'll move on to the next caller, 8700, if you can please unmute. After that is Catherine Rhodes and then Hector.
Thank you. 50, 51, 52, 100, 110, 111, and 112 through 120. Thank you, City Clerk.
Thank you. Please proceed with your 3 minutes.
Number 50. Yes to contract with Comcast Minolta for print services, 40% white male, underrepresentation in the African American and female in tech, Latino and female in sales. Number 51, yes to contract with File IQ for software plus more, 72% white, with a balance between white representation, again, in female and African American in tech, and again, in Latino in tech and sales. Number 52, yes to contract with Panam Corp for alarm permit software, 30 employees, 10 Asian females, underrepresentation, African American in sales, female in tech. 100, Convention Center, only reapprove if you trust necessary transfers to carry out any budgeted CIP projects if determined appropriate by the mayor. Dear Mayor, this is yellow canary that is covered with Band-Aids, also known as the boiler. Please transfer the funds for this very appropriate item. Thank you, Coda, for clarification on the backup material. Good item. 110 and 112 to 120, I'll lump them all together. That's 10 appointments, reappointments, and I have to give 2 big thank yous on this. First, to China Warren, the director of the boards and appointments and so forth. With continuing recognition, excuse me, to the word, to Mayor Gloria for his continuing encouragement of the service by the public in his weekly newsletter. It's well written and really inspiring. So it's been a great morning, and I'll miss this afternoon, but thank you very much, everyone, for listening to all.
Thank you. Next is Catherine Rose, if you can please unmute. After that is Hector and then Patricia DeArmond. Please let me know which item or items you're speaking to.
Lovely, thank you. Items 55, 54, 100, and 105.
Please proceed.
Wonderful. First for item 54, the due process. Thank you so much for bringing this forward. Yes, people need to be able to feel safe. And, the faith-based community, if you can make sure that they get involved too. They want to help, they want to help keep people safe and, keep families together. The one for item 55, East Village Green, I'm agency to the redevelopment agency, because this was a line item in the to have the full $84 million paid for. It's put it on the rocks. But did you do that? I don't know. What's the funding source for this? I'm not sure. So anyway, back in 2014, $5 million. Now it's going to be $84 million. So it's, not exactly double the cost, but, a very large cost increase for what I don't 12 years, the cost somehow escalated. And also Also, $34.4 million was money that came from the successor housing agency affordable housing funds. And what happened is you bought property on an act of fault when I told you you can't have it on the act of fault. So now you're having a park and open space, which is what you have to do. But we haven't gotten back the $34.4 million, and so I think that you should put that on the rocks also to get it back from the affordable housing fund. For number 100, the Convention Center Corporation. Remember, in 9 years, if they don't have a convention center expansion project, you're going to lose that 3.25% of the TOT, that $77 million that's coming in, if you don't have a solution for that. And of course, I have the solution for that, which is a ballot measure that hopefully you guys will put forward. And that way, it includes 1% for the convention center. So I think they're getting like $45 million now, and it'll get bumped down to like $35 million. But with all the other things, they should actually be whole when we make the other if the other changes go through also. So maybe you guys somebody can discuss that with them, because nobody's talked about it. Then you have the 3 surplus properties. 2 of them seems like we should just give them to the San Diego Housing Commission. How come the San Diego Housing Commission doesn't want to use 2 of these empty lots to build a condo complex? We can actually do this. Why don't you keep the property yourself and actually build something? That's what I would like for it to, that is close to it.
I forget the number now.
Okay, so it'll be 2 minutes. Please proceed.
Okay, thanks. Perspective of man's perspective on the status of women. I think I'm looking at it, it's probably just all women, but might want to get some men on board next time, this time. And then I'm 54, this is why I work called in. When Joe Biden and Kamala Harris said, they stood on the TV and said, don't come, don't come. The trouble with that is, they came, they ignored our laws, and they blatantly came. But the trouble with that is Trump, he wants to come, and he's coming after me. So,
We cannot hear you here in council chambers, but you are muted. I'm not sure that you're.
I'm pretty thanks. And Trump might even have a bounty on you guys, because they're going to charge $1,000 a day if somebody is writing in for being here every day. So that's a lot of money. So it could be, why don't you guys say, instead of living in fear, just pack up your bags and go home. Don't come here anymore. We got to redo our whole thing. We got to move on with America. Now, all these other guys, there's guys getting killed by the relay agents, and the relay agents are living in our houses, taking up our rent, driving the price of rent. Get rid of 100,000 of them. It'll lower the rent. It'll make the freeway less crowded. It'll be altogether better in San Diego if we just deport them all rapidly, and everyone can cry about it, and then we just get on with living with our American citizens get top notch. And
Your time has concluded. Patricia Darrowley. After that, our final speaker is 7499. Patricia?
Good morning, City Council. My name is Patricia Diarman. I'm the only sibling of Christopher Diarman, who is a socially murdered by San Diego 23.
Excuse me, ma'am, please stop your time. Ma'am, can you please let me know which item?
Item 54.
You'll have 1 minute. Let me reset your clock. Please proceed.
I am the only sibling of Christopher Diarman, who was atrociously murdered by San Diego police on January 20, 2023. While I understand the importance of this ordinance and the need for its implementation in order to protect immigrants stereotype. The same racial profiling that has been happening since the Trump administration took office has been happening for decades on the streets. Racial profiling, targeting, harassment, discrimination, and the violation of civil and human rights presenting you to Southeast San Diego, Barrio Los, and other disparate communities that law enforcement claim to be up to no good. My brother Christopher was arrested without a warrant on 17th Street, accused of being a drug dealer because my dad's truck was too nice and shiny for that area, for that neighborhood, as SUPD stated. No officers asked for my brother's driver's license.
My apologies, your time has concluded. 7499, if you can please unmute. Please let me know which item or items you wish to speak to.
Kaczynski here, I'd like to speak on 50, 51, 52, 112, and 116.
3 minutes, please proceed.
50, 51, and 52. These three items alone total over $7 million in contract spending of the people's money. I don't know the details of these contracts, but I do know for a fact that the city has a dismal history of overseeing other contracts where I do know all of the details. I urge all citizens and all citizen advocacy groups to get involved in digging into the details of these kinds of contracts. I know what I've witnessed with the Torrey Pines Water Work under Todd Gloria and Joe LaCava has been abysmal, and that's just one very, very little example. I suspect the city is riddled with insider contracts and gross abuse of the city's resources. Please find an area that interests you and dig into it. 112, appointments and reappointments to the Airport Advisory Committee. First of all, there is no such thing as an advisory committee. The City Charter Section 43 is very clear that there are two types of such groups. City Charter Section 43A defines what the City Charter calls advisory board. 43A clearly defines the requirements and conditions of advisory board. Similarly, 43B of the City Charter defines what the City Charter calls, except when you want to circumvent it by creating, for example, the Torrey Pines City Park Advisory Board under City Charter Section 43B, which only defines citizens' committees. Second, your lessee at the Torrey Pines Water Port is claiming in court that the Torrey Pines Water Port is an airport. Yet the Airport's Advisory Committee has not provided any oversight of the property known as the Torrey Pines City Park. What's going on here? What is keeping this city from providing oversight of that park through either Park and Rec, or real estate asset, or the misnamed Airports Advisory Committee, or the Torrey Pines City Park Advisory Board? Item 116, Park and Recreation reappointment. The Park and Recreation Board has been ignoring its necessary role in ensuring the public safety and public access of the Torrey Pines City Park. Every time I've attempted to bring this matter of the Water Port to the Park and Recreation Board, I've been told to go see real estate assets. And yet real estate assets claim that they just manage contracts and aren't involved in the management issues of the park. What kind of vetting process produces a Park and Recreation Board appointees who refuse to do their job? With great disgust. Thank you.
That concludes public comment on the consent agenda. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. With that, we'll turn it over to my colleagues for questions, comments, and entertain a motion. And we will start with Council Member Elo Rivera.
All right, thank you, Council President. Thank you to everyone who engaged today. Let me begin with with a handful of the appointments that we're considering. We've got a number of folks from District 9 who I want to make sure I recognize. Heidi Neff, Ted Womack, Daniel Lehman, and Mark Tran. All four of these folks, there's a common thread of sincere passion for the work that they do on these boards. That is carried out through the work they do on a day-to-day basis. I can think about conversations I've had with each and every one of these folks about why they care about the work that is involved in each of these boards and commissions. And so I want to say thank you to each of them for stepping up and serving in this capacity. And then I want to speak to another appointment with the person who I know best amongst the appointees today, Lydia Ball. Lydia is being appointed to the Airport Authority, outstanding appointment that will be very, very good for San Diego. Lydia has a wealth of experience in a variety of sectors, from government to the nonprofit sector. She's been a champion for the environment. Pair very well with the airport's commitment to sustainability. She's a champion for workers' rights. She's an outstanding leader, and if if all that is not enough, she has the patience of a saint. And how do I know that? She worked alongside me for 4 years. Lydia, thank you for stepping up to serve in this capacity. I'm really excited to see you step into this role and see the airport benefit from your leadership, your strategy, your strategic mind, and just your overall goodness as a human being. So thank you for that. Moving to item 54. The second reading of the due process and safety ordinance. We heard this way back in October. A lot has happened in the world since then, but one thing that has not changed is the need for the city to adopt this into law. As a reminder, the ordinance establishes clear constitutional guardrails requiring judicial warrants for federal and out-of-state law enforcement access to non-public city facilities, extending those same protections to city contractors, lessees, and grantees, prohibiting participation in any enforcement targeting individuals based on political or religious expression, race, ethnicity, gender identity, disability, reproductive care, and will mandate multilingual know your rights education in city sites. The reason for this is simple. We deserve to live in a city where law, order, and rights actually mean something, and where safety and dignity go hand in hand. And this ordinance makes it clear that our local government will uphold the Constitution, protect our people, and fight for our communities. The ordinance builds upon the California Values Act and the Truth Act, state privacy laws, and the Constitution itself, expanding protections to a wider range of residents and situations, including healthcare, housing, and faith settings. It also sets a new national model by extending these standards beyond city operations to city-funded entities, ensuring consistent protections across the region. I want to say thank you to all the community members who helped bring this forward and provided feedback to ensure that we are doing what we can within the confines of this ordinance to make sure that it's meaningful and what it offers to San Diego residents and visitors to our city. I want to say thank you to regional partners from various cities, including Vista, Chula Vista, and the County of San Diego, who brought forward similar policies in each of those jurisdictions. And I also wanted to mention one thing. This is not, the protections within this law apply to everyone. And there was part of the conversation that I think there's an opportunity here for folks to see that a threat against a person's rights is unacceptable no matter who that person is. That rights are rights, and whether you are an undocumented person or someone who's lived here for years, whether you are a person who has right-wing ideology or left-wing ideology, whether you are Muslim or Jewish or Christian or an atheist, your rights are your rights, and that is the whole point of this ordinance. And so if your rights have been violated, that's unacceptable, regardless of what political affiliation you have. And so I just don't want that to be missed here, because what we saw today were folks from or support, or thank you for the additional 3 minutes. Comments we heard were from folks who stand alongside people who are our people who on a day-to-day basis are living in fear because a completely lawless federal regime is targeting them. And the targeting that they feel is no different than the target that others who are in this chamber feel. And it doesn't matter what the source of that targeting is, it's unacceptable. And so I just wanted to be clear that we are not separating anyone out in terms of protections here. The protections in this ordinance apply to literally your supporter of rights, and you believe that government should be held in check and there should be commitments made, you should be a supporter of this ordinance. And this is a law, not just a it is a law because with the law comes more enforceability, and that's why it took so long to get to this point. And so with that, I want to say thank you, Coda, for your work alongside Rosa in my office to make sure that each and every one of the city's REOs, the unions that represent the city's workers, had an opportunity to ask questions and provide their feedback. I want to thank each and every one of those REOs for providing that feedback. And then I do need to say this part because it's important. It will certainly improve protections and give people stronger ground to assert their rights. And what it will not do, unfortunately, although I wish it could, is guarantee protection from a completely immoral and increasingly unhinged fascist president and his fascist regime from attacking community members. It cannot, unfortunately, protect the community leader in District 9 when she goes out to move her car and ICE agents snatch her for no reason whatsoever and upend her life and her family's life. It will not provide protections against a military wife who is dropping off her husband for deployment. I wish it could, but it's the best we can do in the moment, and we should be proud of that, and we should continue to be pushed to figure out all the ways that as a local jurisdiction, we can provide more protections and firmer ground for San Diegans and visitors to the city to assert their rights. So I want to thank my colleagues for the support provided back in October. I want to thank the community again for everything they provided, not just in helping inform the language of the ordinance, but also continue to push us to do better. And with that, that concludes my comments and my motion, Council President.
All right, thank you. So we have a motion by Councilmember Elo Rivera to move the consent items. We'll go next to Councilmember Campbell.
Thank you, Council President. I'm going to speak on some of our appointments from District 2, which I am honored to represent. And I'm glad that Peter Doft, a resident of Point Loma, District 2, will be reappointed to the Airports Advisory Committee. He is an attorney and retired Superior Court Commissioner. He also served San Diego as a public defender, and prior to that, he practiced law in his own firm. 78. Mr. Doft is an aircraft owner and holds an instrument aviation rating. He earned a Bachelor of Arts from NYU and a Juris Doctor from New England School of Law, where he ranked #1 in his class. Given his expertise in aviation, I support the reappointment of Peter Doft to the Airports Advisory Committee and appreciate his willingness to continue to serve. Also on item 112, I'm honored that Chase Franzen, a resident of Point Loma, District 2, will be appointed to the Airports Advisory Committee also. He held various technology leadership roles in banking and finance, earned a Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Master of Business Administration from the University of Montana. Additionally, he is a certified pilot and flight instructor at Montgomery Field. Given his financial expertise and flying certifications, I'm grateful to Mr. Franzen's willingness to continue to serve on the Airports Advisory Committee. On item 116, I'm honored that my friend Judith Munoz, a resident of Claremont in District 2, is willing to be reappointed to the Parks and Recreation Board. She's a retired Vice President of the Scripps Research Institute, has also worked as administrator at UC San Diego and University of San Diego. Judith has served in leadership positions in several nonprofits, including the San Diego Natural History Museum, the Claremont Town Council, the San Diego Humane Society, and is a member of the Mission Bay Park Committee, of which she was chair. She earned both a bachelor's and master's degree from the University of Oregon. Her PhD is from the University of San Diego. Given her dedication serving San Diego and her patience, intelligence, and good-heartedness, I support the reappointment of Judith Munoz to the Parks and Recreation Board and appreciate her willingness to continue to serve. Next, on item 118, I would like to say that I'm honored that Sarah Loga, a resident of Point Loma, District 2, will be reappointed to the Board of Library. Mayor Tom Gloria is National Affairs Manager, where she focused on issues related to Before this role, Sarah was an Emmy-nominated news and entertainment television producer and a writer for various news outlets, including CBS News, Fox, Newsweek, and The Daily Beast. Sarah is a mother of 3 young children and values the importance of libraries in our San Diego communities, appreciates how they can have such a profound positive impact on children's development. She earned a Bachelor of Arts in English and Spanish from University of San Diego, Master of Arts in Latin American Studies from University of Chicago. Given her dedication to serving our community, I'm grateful for Sarah's willingness to continue serving on our library board of commissioners. And I would also like to say how honored I am that Lydia Dahl, a resident of Point Loma in District 2, is willing to be appointed to the Airport Authority Board of Directors. Lydia currently is a consultant working on advancing infrastructure, clean energy, and regional economic development. She advises nonprofits, foundations, and public sector leaders. And prior to that, she was Chief of Staff for our Council District 9 office. She has also served as on the San Diego Foundation, directing their environmental programs. She earned her Bachelor of Science from Southern Illinois University, and given her dedication and experience serving San Diego, I support the appointment of Lydia Ball to the Airport Authority Board of Directors, and I so appreciate her willingness to serve. And I would also like to second the motion to pass the consent agenda, except I would like to say that I will be voting no on item 108, and I thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, council member. So we do have a motion by council member Elo Rivera and a second by council member Campbell to move the consent agenda. We'll go next to council member Correa.
Thank you. I have comments on items 107 and 111. $4.2 million to launch phase 1 of Grove Neighborhood Park. First and foremost, I'd like to recognize the board members of the Otay Mesa Community Rec Council, Ms. Dottie, Mike, and Shirley, as well as other community members who've never stopped pushing for what they were promised many decades ago. With this support, we're not only building a park, but we're fulfilling a promise to the Otay Mesa NASCAR community. For many years, residents have looked at an empty lot and have been told basically to wait. This investment finally transforms decades of advocacy into action for a neighborhood that has been underserved and park deprived for far too long. Phase 1 will deliver picnic spaces, public art, new lighting, and safe walkways that families have envisioned for generations. This grant ensures that phase 1 is not only just a set of right-of-way improvements, but a true park, recognizing that everybody deserves accessible green space, safe recreation, and just space to gather. With phase 1 fully funded, Grove Park stands next to Riviera del Sol, Robert Egger Sr., Coral Gate Memorial, and Fire Park among the list of parks our communities have seen built or revitalized since I took office. This is a little bit of an anecdote here, but when the San Diego Park and Rec Foundation asked for a tour of my parks, I took them to 2 of them, one of them being found in the open plot of land. It was a really hot day too. They said, "Why did you bring us to an open plot of land?" And my response to them was, because this is what our kids in DA have to live with day in and day out. So I'm very, very happy that this is moving forward right before I end my tenure as a council member. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank Assemblymember David Alvarez, who championed this funding. Moving on, item 111 is the approval of the reappointment of Mr. Tufik Tafshuri as a public member to the Audit Committee. I would like to thank Mr. Tafshuri for his continued service and willingness to serve another term as a public member of the Audit Committee. As chair of the Audit Committee, I greatly value the perspectives that public members bring to our discussion. And Mr. Tafshuri brings extensive auditing experience from his work with MTS, SANDAG, and the City of San Diego. His expertise and insight have been invaluable, and our discussions in Audit Committee have helped city departments strengthen their processes and programs. So Mr. Tafshuri, thank you for your willingness to serve, and I look forward to continuing the work for the next 8 months. Also, I want to congratulate a few folks on item 112 for the Airport Authority, Ms. Lydia Ball. 117 for the Historic Resource Board. Thank you to Mr. Rami Cortez for your willingness to serve as well. And that concludes my comments, Council President. Thank you for the time.
All right.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you to all of the folks who are stepping up to volunteer on multiple boards and commissions. I truly appreciate them. I do want to call attention to new appointees who live in District 7 and representing District 7 in one way or another. John Embry from the Serra Mesa community, who will be serving on the airport. So concerned about safety as it relates to aviation around Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport and for all the people around in the flight path, which includes many, many neighborhoods. So I thank him for stepping up on that. And for the Youth Commission, Jackson Turner, really appreciate him also. Given the amount of time you're going to be spending as the captain of your varsity football team, as the president of the Youth Sports for All Club and Youth Circle leader while having a 4.5 GPA and taking many AP courses. Thank you for stepping up to be on the Youth Commission too. We need leaders like you helping the city of San Diego. So thank you very much, and that will conclude my comments.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Gambino. We'll go next to Councilmember Foster.
Yes, thank you, Council President. And today I'd like to provide some quick comments on items 110, 114, 116, and 118. We have quite a few appointments. First, I'd like to congratulate Ms. Miriam Mendoza on being appointed to the International Affairs Board. Miriam is currently serving as the International Policy Advisor for the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. Currently, she leads the planning and implementation of the Chamber's quarterly International Business Affairs Forums and the Sustainability and Industry Committee. Previously, she served as a district representative for State Senator Padilla, where she acted as a binational affairs lead and also coordinated immigration-related efforts along the California-Mexico border. Thank you again, Ms. Mendoza, for your willingness to serve. Also, very quickly, just like to say congratulations to Ted Womack on being reappointed to the Privacy Advisory Board in the Equity Focused Organization seat. Mr. Womack is the Civic Engagement Manager for Alliance San Diego and serves on several civic engagement coalitions and groups. I want to note that doing deep civic engagement work in the community and serving on a board like the Privacy Advisory Board is a heavy lift. This board requires a strong time commitment and requires complex matters. Thank you, Ted, for your leadership and willingness to serve. Also, on the Park and Recreation Board, Danielle is a longtime volunteer that has served on the Chollas Lake Little League Board, Chollas Lake Recreation Council, and Eastern Area Community Planning Group. You'll always find Danielle advocating and sharing information about programs at Chollas Lake and community meetings. Thank you again, Danielle, for your willingness to serve. And also, item 118, reappointments to the Board of Library Commissioners. Just would like to really thank and congratulate Ms. Patricia Bevlin on being reappointed to the Board of the Library Commissioners. Ms. Bevlin is a very active member of the Friends of the Oak Park Library. Your tireless efforts in planning for the new Oak Park Library are deeply valued and appreciated. Efforts and others throughout the Oak Park neighborhood. I am excited that we will be breaking ground on the new Oak Park Library on May 14th, 2026. Thank you again for serving on this board and for being an unwavering advocate for quality library programming and services in District 4. And with that, that concludes my comments.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Foster. We'll go next to Councilmember Von Wilson.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank Chida, first of all, for all of the appointments to our many boards and commissions, and thank my colleagues for bringing forth so many great nominees. On item 110 for the International Affairs Board, I'm pleased to support the mayor's appointment of Dr. Lanine to serve on the qualified county resident seat representing District 5. Dr. Lanine is an associate research scientist and director of the Air and Sea Interaction Laboratory at Scripps Institution of Oceanography at UC San Diego. His work focuses on how the ocean and atmosphere interact, including our coastal systems, surface waves, and the impacts of climate change. It's incredibly important scientific work you're doing, and we appreciate you very, very much. On item 117, Historical Resource Board, I'm also pleased to support the mayor's reappointment of Ms. Woods to serve another term. She brings real on-the-ground experience in land use, housing, and workforce development, areas that are critical to our city right now. In her role with our California Apartment Association, she has worked at the intersection of government, business, and community interest, helping move forward the development of policy here in San Diego. In addition, her previous work at the San Diego Workforce Partnership shows a strong track record of managing multi-million-dollar budgets, launching job training programs, and bringing in new funding to expand opportunities. She has also become a fantastic neighbor and friend, as her leadership with the Scripps Brand has been exemplary. Ms. Melanie Woods, thank you so much for your work. I look forward to the next time we have a party in one of our parks. On item 54, the due process ordinance, I want to thank our colleague, Councilmember Shalanda Rivera, for bringing this forward to protect the rights and safety of San Diegans and minimize economic instability. The proposed ordinance establishes clear constitutional guardrails to ensure city property, personnel, and funding are not used to facilitate unauthorized, discriminatory, or extrajudicial enforcement activities, from everything from immigration to disability status to getting same transgender care to making sure that women have the rights to reproductive freedom. Our community is strongest when we live up to our shared American values of respect for life, liberty, dignity, and fairness under the law. So thank you for bringing this forward. Thank you to my colleagues for supporting it. On item 120 for the San Diego Regional Airport Authority Board, I'm happy to support the appointment of Lydia Ball to the San Diego Regional Airport Authority Board of Directors. Welcome. She brings a breadth of experience in the last 20 years advancing infrastructure, clean energy, and regional economic development initiatives, all of which the airport is very strong on. And as many people have seen, we have opened only one half of the new terminal. We're in the middle of that nearly $4 billion does get finished with the new T1, and then we have much more to come. Organization. And I think you're going to love it there. We're going to love having you there. I obviously got to work with Lydia before here when she was at the city, and believe me, building green infrastructure is one of our specialties there. So we are very excited to welcome you, and I'm very, very happy to support your appointment. Also on item 119, Commission on the Status of Women, I am pleased to support the mayor's reappointments of Marilyn Carrillo, Wendy Orisha-Macron, Gail Freak, and Carla Nisbet-Stokes to the Commission on the Status of Women. Thank you so much for all of the work that you have been doing on this incredible commission with your backgrounds in education, workforce development, policy advocacy, and a clear commitment to helping people grow and succeed. And the challenges that women, and especially women of color, are facing now under our federal administration are dire. Many people might have seen the news just last week about what the Equal Opportunity, the EEOC Commission is doing. In 2024, in the fall, about 250 female employees of a Coca-Cola distributor gathered for an unremarkable meeting inside the ballroom of a Connecticut casino for a day of speakers and teal building exercises. Their theme was Embrace Your Authenticity. It offered women a chance to mingle with higher-ups, bond over their shared challenges in a male-dominated workplace. One participant said it was fun, energizing, and useful. She said, we learned how to deal with irate customers, for example. Simple strategies for women to succeed in their workplaces. Well, last month, Trump's EEOC sued Coca-Cola Beverages Northeast for this conference, claiming that they engaged in the Federal Civil Rights Act. The agency is now seeking unspecified compensatory damages and punitive damages. Just so the public knows, the EEOC receives tens of thousands of complaints a year for discrimination in the workplace, and they hardly file any of the lawsuits. It's very rare to get the EEOC to actually take action, and the fact that they chose to take action against Coca-Cola for simply having a Women's Empowerment Day is very. Founding in 1977, headquartered in New Hampshire, the Coca-Cola Beverages Northeast employs about 3,400 people who fall from Boston to upstate New York. More than 85% of their employees are men. So back in late 2024, the company decided to hold its first in-person women's forum. Before the event, the company notified its 11 unions asking whether they had any objections, and not a single union raised an objection to a women's forum. At the event, the attendees heard from women executives who described their career paths, and they watched a demonstration by a trainer of a service dog sponsored by the company. One employee who attended the 2024 event wasn't aware it had triggered a lawsuit against the company. She said it should happen every year, and still uses some of the lessons she gleaned in her work, including strategies for remaining calm and dealing with irate managers or customers. She said, quote, "It is very empowering for women to get in the same room." And so what I see is that this lawsuit really is not about a single networking event. It's about whether efforts to support and advance women in workplaces where they remain vastly underrepresented can be treated as discrimination rather than progress. In a company where more than 85% of employees were men, a voluntary forum designed to foster mentorship, connection, and professional growth for women is now being framed by Donald Trump as unlawful. This risks turning back the clock on so much progress we can make. It echoes a time when women were excluded from opportunity, silenced in professional spaces, and told that gathering to support one another wasn't itself a problem. Modest efforts to level the playing field for women may be challenged or punished by the federal government. And that is what this litigation is really about. It reflects a broader fear of women simply organizing, speaking openly about our challenges, and empowering women to fully participate in the workplace and simply ask for equality in civic life is not discrimination, it's progress. So I want to thank you very much on the status quotient of women. You have a dire challenge ahead of you, and you have our full support here at the city. So thank you very much, and thank you to my colleagues for all of the incredible appointments today, and I'm happy to support the consent agenda.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Von Wolfert. We'll go next to Councilmember Whitford.
Thank you, Council President. I too want to congratulate and thank everybody who is being appointed or reappointed to boards and commissions today, especially all of those who live in District 3. Thank you to all of you. These positions are really important, and your service is very much appreciated. On item 54, I want to join everybody in appreciating Councilmember Elo Rivera for bringing this forward, and everyone who came to City Council today to speak in favor of it. We live in a day when too many Americans are afraid of their own government. People who were born and raised in San Diego carry their passports because they are afraid of being deported. I know some of them. And I'm glad that Councilmember Elo Rivera made the point that while we unfortunately can't fully protect San Diegans from the Trump administration, this ordinance isn't just symbolic either. And I appreciate the examples that are provided in the materials where this ordinance can really help protect people. I have a lot of construction going on in my district, as does Councilmember Elo Rivera, some of it funded with city resources. And this ordinance prohibits federal agents from going in and detaining construction workers on city-funded projects without a judicial warrant. It provides due process. And there are other examples where this can help protect our residents from the Trump administration. So thank you for bringing it forward. I'm glad it's going to be enacted today. And thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Whitford. We'll go back to Councilmember Foster.
Yes, thank you, Council President, and my apologies. I did not see Lydia here. I just wanted to take a moment and give Lydia a quick shout out. Had the pleasure to work with Lydia as the former Chief of Staff for Council Member, and at the time, Council President Sean Elo Rivera. Just a pleasure to see you back, and I just wanted to say congratulations. So thank you.
Councilmember Foster, not seeing no one else in the line, so I think actually everybody has spoken. A couple of thoughts myself. I'll join the chorus on item 54, thanking Councilmember Elo Rivera, the D9 staff, and everyone who worked on bringing forward the due process ordinance. As I did the last time it was heard, I will register a no vote on 55, item A. Item S500. This is regarding the La Jolla Shores Banner District. I want to thank the La Jolla Shores Association for working through the red tape and the bureaucracy to expand the boundaries of the La Jolla Shores Banner District and to develop a working relationship between the La Jolla Shores Shores Association and the Shores Business Association in operating that banner district. I know it'll accrue to the benefit of both the La Jolla Shores residents and the businesses there and everybody that passed through that district. So thank you for the good work. And a special shout out to Abby Reuter and my staff for navigating this process that turned out to be a little bit harder than we originally thought. The items 110 and 1 through 120, I certainly want to congratulate and thank all those who are being appointed or reappointed. Your volunteer time is very much appreciated. And of course, a shout out, as Councilmember Von Wolter said, to Ms. Dinah Warren for all the work behind the scenes to bring this forward, monitoring the vacancies, checking people who want to be reappointed, validating the qualifications of those who want to be appointed for the first time, and then of course docketing the items is no easy task. So thank you for that very good work. And then on item 120, despite the fact that Lydia unceremoniously kicked me out of the Social Justice Coalition many years ago, I hold no grudge and will continue to support your appointment to the Airport Authority. Congratulations, and I'm glad to see you're back in the circle of city business. You'll be a great asset to that authority. So with that, we have a motion by Councilmember Elo Rivera, and a second by Councilmember Campbell. Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Council President. I started the voting system. Please cast your vote. That does pass unanimously, 8-0, with Councilmember Campbell voting no on item 108 and Council President Pro Tem Kent absent. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you for that. Next item on the agenda, are there any comments by the Mayor's Office, City Council members, City Attorney, independent legislator, or City Clerk? Please see the City Clerk has comments first.
Thank you, Council President. I would just wanted to take a moment to mark the 95th anniversary of when San Diego voters approved our city charter on April 7, 1931, otherwise known as Charter Day. The document serves as the foundation of our city government, structure, and operations. While it has been amended over the years, it continues to guide our work. And if you'd like to learn more, the city charter is available online at www.sandiego.gov/cityclerk. Happy Charter Day.
Thank you, Council President. Just as is often the case, I feel like it's important when we at least acknowledge things that are completely unacceptable or extraordinary happen outside of these chambers. This morning, a authoritarian said that an entire civilization could die today. That authoritarian is our president. That civilization includes 92 million people in the country of Iran, and at least 5 million people. Family members of at least 2 of us on this dais. That would not just be a war crime. He literally just said it could be a genocide tonight. So again, just in the spirit of not pretending like there isn't a maniac in the White House, and like there's any semblance of normalcy to those sort of statements, I felt like I needed to say something. I pray to God that that is just the rantings of a maniac and not something that he will actually act on, because again, there's 92 million people in Iran and 5 million people in the diaspora, and that would be what the death of that civilization would look like in human terms. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, Council Member. Not seeing anybody else in the lights, we will now take up our morning discussion agenda. Clerk, please introduce item S503.
Item S503 is the 10-year nonprofit lease agreement between the City of San Diego and YWCA of San Diego County, a California nonprofit corporation for city-owned property operating specialized services. Speakers to the front of the room in the clear box, or if you're participating online, now's the time to raise your hand by pressing star 9 or the raise your hand icon. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. I see staff is settling in. please introduce yourself for the record and let us know how much time you need. Turn the mic up.
Hi, my name is Alexandra Clark, and I will need about 4 minutes.
Begin when you're ready.
Good morning, Council President and Council members. My name is Alex Clark, Property Agent with the Economic Development Department. I am joined today by Deputy Director of Real Estate Lucy Contreras and Nick Baldwin, Program Manager for Lease Administration. Today we'll be presenting for your consideration a lease agreement between the City of San Diego and the YWCA of San Diego County, a California nonprofit corporation. YWCA with one 5-year option to extend for a total potential term of 15 years. For safety and confidentiality reasons, the specific property location is intentionally omitted from the public record as the site serves individuals receiving sensitive and protected services. Staff is requesting 5 actions today. Make a finding consistent with Council Policy 700-12 that the proposed lease serves a valid public purpose. Approve and authorize execution of the lease agreement. Waive the Council Policy 700-12 requirement for a market rent appraisal given the significant public benefit provided through these services. Authorize the Chief Financial Officer to accept and deposit the lease consideration and determine the approval of the lease is categorically exempt from CEQA under CEQA Guidelines Section 15301. The YWCA of San Diego County was founded in 1907 and is dedicated to empowering women through services that promote safety, stability, and dignity. They have operated at the city-owned site since 2000, providing services to women, children, and families crisis, including survivors of domestic violence. Their prior lease expired on October 1st, 2025, and staff has negotiated this new agreement to ensure continuity of these essential services. The proposed lease allows the YWCA to continue operating these services under a 10-year term with one 5-year extension option. The annual rent is set at the city's nonprofit administrative fee at $4,827.50 with a 3.5% annual increase. The lessee will be responsible for all costs associated with maintenance, operations, and improvements to the property. For reference, an appraisal was completed in September of 2025, valued the property at approximately $3.6 million. In summary, the lease enables the continued operation of a long-standing high-impact service provider delivering critical housing and supportive services to vulnerable populations while ensuring the city's asset remains maintained and operationally self-sufficient. Staff respectfully recommends approval of the 5 requested actions. Thank you, and we're available for any questions.
All right, thank you for the presentation of the work to bring.
Allegedly, Audra, process both federally and needs, and I think that we go to the city as well. There's been a really long delay on a lease for an organization or a space in Balboa Park called Starlight Amphitheater. And if you look at the names that have performed there, Beastie Boys, the Rolling Stones, the Ramones, Elvis Costello, incredible acts. And I know there was, okay, they had to pause for airplanes to fly over, but that venue is so amazing. Like, it is so amazing. And I just genuinely believe that it could drive so much revenue into the city. You know, there's a lot of work that's gone into it so far over the past several years, but with just a little help, maybe just some sponsorship, that could help situations and maybe actually help employ women and men that are going to go into this facility and provide employment opportunities and great venues for graduations, speaking engagements, and an extension of the convention center. I think we could upsell the space for large speaking engagements for orthopedic surgeons or the tech conference or Comic-Con. So just something to think about. Thank you.
Allegedly, Aldridge.
Man, it's like, I wish wish there could be something that I could look into and not find super nefarious things with these nonprofits that you guys engage in. You've heard plenty of information about Tent City and Dreams for Change. People keep coming here and it's still open. Stephen Whitburn laughed at me when somebody died. It's like, this is doing a 10-year contract. And just with a quick look, you can see the types of things that have taken place with the WCA and different things like that. And when we have these programs that are supposed to be housing people, and it's like, of course that's what we should be doing, but we should actually be doing that, not making it to get off the streets. It's like all of these things when we're contracting with these nonprofits, I feel like there's no checks and balances. It's like you guys go ahead and get in contracts with these people, and then it's like you just kind of go, it's up to them to do whatever, like you're not also complicit in it. I mean, literally, Tent City should be shut down. It should be ran by somebody else. I mean, I talk to people day in and day out. These people are actually afraid to come because so it's like, how can that take place? And you have people that come in here and you don't even want to go and talk to them and go, hey, what's going on? I mean, deaths and sexual assaults are bad. And the fact that the city is literally on that site and there's code violations up the yin-yang, like it just shows that you guys can be there, watch it happen, and not do a damn thing about it, but have people kick me out so that I don't get to talk to those people and count the public or the homeless. And it's like, I don't need to be there to get people to come to me. But the fact is that you guys should be doing something about it. It's supposed to be being audited, but it's like, it's still running and they're still getting money, so you can't be trusted when you're picking these entities.
Thank you for that concluding comment. Blair Beekman.
Hi, Blair Beekman. Thank you for this item. I had read a news report over the past week that Mayor Gloria delivered a really important memo to yourselves this past Friday on the work that you need to be doing in addressing unhoused issues at this time, and it stressed the importance of what the Tent City, the city-sponsored encampments are doing, and by, I don't know, it just set a standard, of course, of how to talk about the issue and to prepare ourselves how to talk about unhoused issues into this coming year. So good luck what we can be doing with those issues together. DRA and others have made a really important point about, there just needs to be a better sense of organization of how Tent City is kept and worked on. Good luck that we're doing that. And I've had the idea, and being from San Jose, they've taken on the Tent City's ideas too, but to a much smaller degree, in much smaller land parcels. Is that an option for San Diego? San Diego has chosen this large bulk system of Tent City. How about little smaller neighborhood ones? I know you don't like to hear those kind of words, but it can be much easier to maintain possibly. And there's just be a sense of a familial sense more possibly to it. That may be an interesting idea that I felt it was time to mention, along with this item, which is really important. And thank you for it, and good luck with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Starting with 5 minutes, we're going to those participating remotely, starting with 8700. If you can please unmute. Ms. Catherine Rhodes.
Thank you. Jerry Pinata, CD3. First of all, good news on this item. It's the operation of a transitional housing facility. That's so wonderful. And the second good news is that $57,000 will be going to the general fund. And it's precious, precious revenue. So let's use it wisely. sorry, say something that's a little difficult. Yes to the 10-year lease with the YWCA San Diego County. So I just want to say this. I've been doing this work for about 20 years now, and I have really, really listened attentively most of the time to the voices. And thank you, Blair, for what you just said. What I really liked is that you said, how do we talk about these parts? Because I want resolution and I want prevention. And I don't feel we're getting this in some of these really, really difficult items that are coming up that are being spoken to by the people of San Diego. Appreciate you listening to. But there's just a sadness in my heart. And how do we talk about these things? I want more clarity on all sides. So thanks for listening again, and love to all.
Thank you. Catherine Rhodes, if you can please unmute.
This is Catherine Rhodes, and of course I very much support this. You know, it's only $56,633 to women who really need your help. One of the things that when I was just looking through this, I saw that you only have annual rent increases of 3.5%, which is great. But I wanted to tell you a similar thing that you're doing, which is not so good. The San Diego Housing Commission is doing that's not great. For the Mount Etna properties where they're doing commission is charters or in the disabled. And if you're giving this to the YMCA for annual rent increases of only 3.5%, I would like somebody to push this to your city attorney, the San Diego Housing from a year ago, and some of the people with rent anymore. So please, somebody look into that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That does conclude public comment on this item.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. My council colleagues, questions, comments?
Thank you, Council President. Thank you to our real estate staff. And I will make a motion to approve staff's recommendation.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. I'll go, Councilmember Whitburn will second the item. Not seeing anybody else on the lights. Please call the roll, clerk.
Sorry, the light system, please cast your vote. That passes 7-2. Yeah, that passes unanimously with Council President Pro Tem Lee and Councilmember Campbell absent. Thank you.
All right, again, thank you to staff for bringing this item forward and to the YWCA. Okay, we will now take up non-agenda public comment. Councilmembers input are committed to protecting every participant's free speech rights at council and committee meetings. Clerk, please proceed.
Thank you, Council President. For Rule 2.7, non-agenda public comment is an opportunity for members of the public to comment on items that are not on the agenda, but within the subject matter jurisdiction. Please note if there are 8 or more speakers on a single topic, the maximum time for the topic will be 16 minutes. If you are in chambers, please submit your speaker slip. If you're joining or if you are calling participants, star 9, starting with Jacob Edwards. If you after Jacob, we have Steve Starr, Andrea Ebbing, allegedly Audra, and Blair Beekman. I do not see Jacob Edwards here in chambers anymore. Steve Stopper.
Do you have a
Right,
quorum?
to the microphone.
Do you have a quorum? Do you need 5? Because you guys, I'd like to invoke Robert's Rules of Order and take over the council if you don't.
No.
You don't have a quorum.
My colleagues have run out. We do not have a quorum, so we have to adjourn the
Yep, but
meeting at the direction of the city attorney, which I concur with, sadly, and frustrated.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I just invoked Robert's Rules of Order, and if you don't have a quorum, then the public can actually take over the meeting. So that's a problem. Because
Okay.
I invoked that before you said that. I'm the one that brought it to your attention. I'm serious right now.
Okay, to the point that security lets you stay in here, that's fine.
Security lets
The meeting itself is adjourned under the Brown Act.
Yes, but I called Robert's Rules of Order.
That's fine.
Prior to you doing that, I am the one that brought it to your attention that you did not have a quorum. You didn't know that until I said something. And now you're trying to circumvent that and say that as long as security lets me stay, so are you threatening that you're going to have them come after me because I'm trying to take over a meeting that you negligently did not have a quorum for that we're continuing with? So like through Robert's Rules of Order,
Okay. All right, you made your point. I
made my
understand.
point that you no longer can be in control of the meeting.
Okay,
And you
that's
know
fine.
it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You've made your point. I understand the point that you've made.
Please?
Please?
No, I'm telling you, you had no quorum.
Okay, I understand your point.
My
We're now
point
going to the point
It's
of
not
being
about a
disruptive.
point, it's about legalities. You can't continue the meeting.
That's right. We are now, so the meeting is adjourned at this
After I
time.
made it aware, seriously,
Just stand here. Can we clarify this at another time?
that I'm not full of shit. You know that. You're acting like you don't know what I'm talking about, and all of you do. Every single one of you. You know that what I'm saying is valid? You know it, Joe. You did not end it before I brought that up. I did not. I'm the one. No.
That's when I saw the room before. My staff ran out to see if he could get anybody to come back.
check out the security when they leave, maybe it's my
When
turn.
that was not possible, I took my action.
No, that's not true. I brought it to your attention. You were continuing the meeting. Read Robert's Rules of Order, because right now you're circumventing what just happened.
The Brown Act, the rules of council.
You didn't follow your own rules, so you're telling me that you can sit there after I've invoked that and then say that you're canceling, you're stopping the meeting, and that you're going to go ahead and do whatever you did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
I am saying that.
Right.
So for your record, I
Right.
am saying that.
Right. So you are in violation.
Okay.
Just like every other time. You don't even pay attention to Brown. Oh my God. What the fuck? You can't. You disenfranchise people. Send out the police.
You did say Brown Act supersedes Robert's.
No, it doesn't.
Are you sure?
That's not true. Yes.
I'm not happy with Robert's rules. I prefer Brown Act supersedes.
Yeah, but they don't even follow that.
I hear what you're saying. I mean,
That is totally. Oh my God. This happened at the county. That is by law. I should be the chair. Shit, you know. But this is the kind of people that we deal with. Like, what the fuck? Oh my gosh. Oh, he's no, he didn't. Yeah, but that was bullshit, dude. I'm telling you, that's illegal. They knew it, and he addressed it after I said something.
He was gonna continue and have that man come up and speak, and so I'm like, you don't even have a quorum. Oh my gosh, so.
It's actually a really good, on it with them.
I know, but
Just
that's.
keep talking.
He was acting, yeah, he knows,
yeah.
he knows. Oh, yeah, I'm going to. They pretend like it's not happening. I'm like, you guys for real right now? I've had 2 opportunities. Stay classy, stay classy.